And I realized that I didn't really have a strong enough understanding of the other cultures and of the Middle East and Arab culture in particular. So I heard about this one book that I'm almost done with now. It's called Arab Nationalism in the 20th Century by edJEWcation.
Okay.
And as dry as this sounds, it's actually excellent.
Really?
It's actually very well written.
Okay.
It's really engaging. And it's, as it says, it's about the Arab nationalism in the 20th century. And it goes heavily into Nasser, who was, the president of Egypt, and his push to unify the Arab countries. It really puts in a whole new light the Arab countries and
Right.
shows how I think a lot of people think about there's Israel and there's all these other Arab
Right.
countries all around Israel. But this book really talks about the unique character of these different countries and how when Nasser wanted to create this sort of, at one point, Egypt and Syria, I don't know if you know this, became one country.
Right.
And so it became the United Arab Republic. And then there was Iraq was against it, and there was a coup in Iraq, and they got a leader in there who was potentially in favor of it, whereas Saudi Arabia and Jordan were totally against this United Arab thing because they were more, in Saudi Arabia's case, it was more religious.
Right.
And then you had the Hashemites, and they were against the Hashemites, and the Hashemite, so the whole conflict between the states, and it's really interesting about how they sort of he starts to paint this picture about the different cultures and the different political influences of the different states in the Middle East, and it's really it's a terrific book if you want a deeper understanding of.
I'm sure all of
that.
the protesters at anti-Israel protests are very familiar with this history. I'm sure they know a lot
100%.
about it and understand all the nuance of Arab nationalism as opposed to
So I'll share one thing I think is actually very interesting that he writes about in this book is that when Egypt joined Syria, you had Egypt, who was obviously the main partner of this. You had Egypt that had around 25, 26 million citizens, and Syria at the time had like 4 or 5 million. Right, so Syria is very much the junior partner. One of the things he writes about is the fact that Syria was actually at that point pretty much of a free market economy. They had a lot of investments going into the country to build the country up, whereas Egypt was a socialized economy.
Right.
And essentially, long story short, Egypt ended up stomping out the investment in Syria, turning it into a socialist country, and so all of that capital fled Syria and went to Europe. So it's really interesting that to a certain degree, the downfall of Syria was actually a result of Nasser and Egypt putting his boot on their economy, not Western influences or any of this other stuff. It was actually Egypt that caused that.
That's fascinating. Another failed socialist experiment, basically.
Shocker.
Shocker. Exactly. Okay. What else have you got?
So I got this book called Gone in Search of Man by Abraham Joshua Heschel.
Okay.
This is one of the books I may not finish. This is a heavy book. It's interesting. It's very dense, and it is very. This is like I'm still like Judaism 101.
Right,
this is like
right.
Judaism 201. It's
This
a little
is
bit
500
above and beyond my capabilities. So it's
how far are you into it?
100 pages.
Okay.
So it's I'll give my rule generally is I'll give any book 20% of the length of the book before I make a decision.
Okay.
I think I basically reached that with this, and I think I'm pretty good. So I got a book by Elie Wiesel called Souls on Fire.
How's that?
It's really good. It's I've only read maybe about 50 pages of it. It's about the Hasidic movements and the leaders like the Baal Shem Tov, and I'm forgetting the names, like the Rebbe of Breslov,
Right, the Breslov Rebbe.
Yeah.
The Maggid of Mezrich.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot
So
about, I think, the Maggid in there. I remember the
yeah,
Maggid of Mezrich. Yeah.
have you read that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's good. I
It's
like
a
it.
really good book.
It's a lot about the mysticism of
Yeah.
the movement, and it's good.
I
I like it.
find Elie Wiesel to be a beautiful writer, actually. I love his, if I could recommend one book of his, beside obviously Night, which everybody hopefully has read, um, his book Sages and Dreamers, I think I've talked about it before on the podcast, is one of my favorite books. It's a really, really good book. And he
Yeah,
goes kind of through like the biblical characters and the prophets and later rabbis. And it's just, I love the way he weaves in kind of a narrative of biblical text, but with also sort of his view on them. I think it's a beautiful book.
okay, so here's a little bit different one. This is called On Killing
On
by,
Killing?
by a good Jewish boy, Dave Grossman.
Oh my
Um,
God. What is
it's it's
that?
it's basically it's like a psychological study about what killing does to a person.
Oh my God.
Um, and so
Sounds
yeah, so that's
horrific.
yeah. I'll let you know once
Wow.
I read it.
Okay.
I have a book by Steven Zipperstein called Elusive Prophet, which is about Ahad Am,
Oh, Chadham. Okay.
who you probably know is probably not on my side of the intellectual.
He was one of the early Zionist thinkers and pretty liberal Zionist thinker, but really important because a lot of his
Yes,
ideas became sort of entwined with the founding of Israel and the culture for sure. And
yes, no, so
he's
yeah,
an interesting thinker for sure.
yeah. He was much more on David Ben Gurion's side. He was
Yeah.
contrasting to uh, Jabotinsky
Right. Right.
and later on Begin. Uh, yeah, but I really don't. I just read a two-part biography about Jabotinsky, and I figured I would
How
read a
is
little bit on the
that?
other side. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You love him.
I love Jabotinsky, so I mean that's my thing.
A
But
two-part biography on him. So it really goes deep into his.
yeah. It was. I must have it over here somewhere. Yeah, it's by Joseph Sheckman. So it's this one and the other one.
Right.
Sheckman was in Beitar, so he was one of he actually was very very close with Jabotinsky, and
Interesting.
I think if I remember correctly, edited some of his work, and it was an editor of some of the papers that Jabotinsky wrote at. So
Do you only
yeah,
order books about Jewish things, or do you buy books on other
no,
topics?
no, I buy other stuff, but I
Okay.
just sort of have the
Yeah,
Jewish
the
stuff
Jewish.
here.
I
And I
know.
mean, if I'm honest, like it's predominantly Jewish topics, but
Right.
not,
But is that new for you? I mean, before you,
yeah,
that's relatively new,
the last
right?
few years,
The last
yeah,
couple of years. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Then we have As a Driven Leaf
Oh, I've read that.
by
Excellent.
Milton Steinberg. Yeah, I've heard it's phenomenal. I haven't read it yet.
It's a historical retelling of very big rabbi in the Talmud who was complicated, and considered a heretic. I don't know how to explain exactly what he was, but very, very interesting. Beautiful book. Really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
Classic.
excited to read it.
Yeah. That's a classic. Everyone should read it. As a Driven Leaf. Very good. We should do a book club on that one, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
If my dad has ever read it.
And we have a book called Anonymous Soldiers about Israel's liberation from Bruce Hoffman. So yeah, another book. I have many books about about,
Oh my God.
about the various wars of Israel. So that's just another one for me to read.
Wow.
This is more of a practical one. Is To Pray as a Jew,
That's interesting.
which is so I'll say as you know, the purpose of the show was kind of to get me educated about what it means to
Yeah.
be a Jew and how to be a Jew. So this book actually is great for people who have sort of come back to the religion, because one of the challenges I think with this, and I think it's probably harder to sort of get back in Judaism than maybe it is like say Christianity, is because the language barrier.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and people are they're sort of going through these practices like it's rote,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there thinking, I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Right. So this book kind of takes you through the prayers, why they're said, how they're said, the order of the ceremonies. So
That's great.
yeah, so I haven't started reading this one yet, but I'm excited to start reading this.